Jim. I am so thrilled to have you with us.
Thank you, Kathy. It's great that we could finally rekindle our friendship from decades ago, right?
Yes, 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 indeed, indeed. I'd like to welcome Jim, who is the of president and owner of Car Machine and Tool Inc., and also founder and host of My True Position podcast, which is a manufacturing podcast. So welcome, Jim. I'm
Well,
so
thank you.
excited to have you because you're such a phenomenal leader. You've been at this for 38 plus years, which is incredible.
Yes.
And you know, our new leaders, up and coming leaders, really could use mentoring advice from leaders like you. So
Sure.
I'm so excited that
I'll
you.
I'll try. I'll be as honest and authentic as I know how.
I'm sure I am sure you will, as you always are. So I wanted to begin by having you tell us a little bit about your journey to where you are today. How have things evolved both in your company as well as your podcast? Because you have had your podcast for a number of years as well.
I've been professional podcasting for 10 years, but more important, let's start with the true foundation of what I'm all about and what industry I'm in. So my father started Car Machine and Tool in the garage of our Mount Prospect, Illinois suburban house in 1972. He had a lot of drive, and back then that's all you needed was just a lot of drive. Um, Founded the company, and in nine in the late 70s, early 80s, when I was graduating from high school, my parents came to me and said, "Would you like to join the family business and do a machinist apprenticeship program? Or we will pay for a 4 year university college education." And I remember sincerely to this day, I can still remember thinking about that when them asking me that question. And I thought for like 36 hours about it, and because they wanted an answer, right? And I thought, honest to God, I said, my dad drives a Cadillac, and my parents vacation in Acapulco, Mexico quite a bit. And you know what? That sounds pretty like a pretty good lifestyle for me. So here was this young, innocent kid making a decision on his future at that point. I'll never forget it, Kathy, but I like to tell that story because it's true. So I did. I chose the family business. I went to a machinist apprenticeship program, and I just worked on the shop floor for a long time as a manual machinist, as a CNC machinist, and then I learned how to run a small family owned and operated manufacturing company. In 2004, I took over as president after about 5 to 10 years convincing my dad we need to succeed, we need to move on. And I really wanted to change the perception of manufacturing, about what people thought of it. And I needed to inject a little bit more of my own personal style into the business. So I really liked marketing. I probably would have gone into marketing if I had not had the opportunity to go into the family business. And I am attracted to creative people overall. And I believe marketing people are creative. So the core people that were around me that I was networking with professionally were marketers, and they taught me a lot about marketing. And I had this innate ability too. So marketing was the way to go for me to increase business at Car.
Wow.
Yes. So I started doing that. I started doing social media for to market my machine shop, which is unheard of 15 years ago, right? Got recognized, and did a AM show with on a radio about my initiative with social media marketing. And there was another gentleman named Jason Zanger that was also on that show. And the day after, he called me and he said, you did pretty good on that interview. You know how to talk. You certainly know your industry. You've been in it your whole life. He says, we really should think about doing he goes, do you know what a podcast is? And I said, yeah, I do. They're kind of antiquated. He goes, no, as a matter of fact, they're starting to get a revitalization because of 4G technology. You can stream it now. So I thought it long and hard, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot. I said, but under one condition, that we really plan it out, we really have a roadmap for success, and we do it um, a quality product. I wanted the output to be a quality product. So that's how I got on the podcast. But back to Carr, um, when my son, who's third gen, came in 2014 after he did a 4-year college education at DePaul, business administration. He had been working for the company through college and then decided he wanted to make it a full-time job. And we really started talking a lot at that time. My dad was almost all phased out of the business. And we said, we got this business. It's a solid business. I know what to do. You know what to do. You've got a great mechanical aptitude. You're young. Let's do something and make this business powerful. So I talked, there's 5 things that we did in 2014 through 2018 that were really solid. We got an ERP system that could run our business and we could scale the business. We hired our first salesperson to actively every day hit the ground and find the industries that were good to us. We read the book Traction by Gino Wickman, which is all about the entrepreneurial operating system. It's a systemized way to run your business. And we took a lot of those principles and followed through with them. John, yeah. We've got AS 9100 credentialing, which is an aerospace credential saying that we have the chops to do work for the aerospace industry. And then we moved into a brand new building that was 300% bigger than what we came from and really started investing in our machinery and equipment. And I'm happy to say that 2024 is far and away the best year we've ever had in 52 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
So
That's
thanks.
amazing. So innovation has been the cornerstone of your success and continued success and elevated success. I love it.
I forgot one very, very important thing: the implementation of core values and culture in the business. It's always, and I can't believe I forgot about this, but it's employee first. So being I grew up in a poor cultured manufacturing company, I saw things that I really wasn't comfortable with and
Mhm.
the way my dad ran the business. And I knew that when I took ownership that I would have to um, change that. So all in that period when Ryan came on and we were reading EOS that talked about core values and principles, we crafted our 4 core values and we practice them. We hire, rate people, and we fire based on their alignment with our core values.
Wonderful. I love hearing that. I love
Yep.
hearing that.
That precedes everything else that I said before the ERP system says, because it has to be people first. If you do not have a good team of people that are aligned with your heart and what your core values and the way you want to run your business, it'll never go anywhere.
I love that. I love that. It's of course it's exactly what we stand for as well. It's all about, we're all about open-hearted leadership, leadership with love. That's what's missing in corporate culture these days. And I love hearing that someone like you who's in manufacturing that values your people first. I love that. That's truly a testament to who you are and how you became so much more successful even year by year. You keep getting better and better, which is phenomenal. I love that.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us about your core values and how they live in the culture and your community?
Sure. Well, when we first started down this path, we had like 20, and we know we can't live by 20. So what you do is you keep, kill, and combine. So you kind of like say, well, these four are kind of the same thing, so we're going to combine them under one core value.
Mhm.
But just quickly, they're flex, fly, play, energize. And I can read off them to you if you'd like me to, but I can truncate them down and tell you what they mean to me, because that's really
Absolutely.
what's important. Flex is we're flexible. We change the word can't into can. We go above and beyond. Uh, fly, fly meaning if you've ever had the experience of flying first class, you know that experience. We treat everybody we come in contact with in a first class experience. That could be each other internally, our vendors, and our customers. So we give them a first class experience when we communicate. All our communications are done that way. Internally first, customers, vendors.
Mm,
Um, we play well together. Play comes like I'm the band leader, so I'm very much into music. It's one of my passions. And I believe that running a business is like me being the lead singer of a band, and I have everybody around me. And there's a guy on bass guitar and electric guitar and keyboards and drums and on and on and on. And when everyone's playing great and our harmony is great, we're going to get to the top of the Billboard charts.
I
So
love
that's what play means to me, that we play well together, we get along, we like each other. And energized means that when people view us and see us and meet us as a one entity, a customer, they feel this energy coming from us that resonates to them. So when they leave, even the UPS driver that drops off parts at our dock, that comes in contact with our shipping and receiving guy, that if you're sending a positive energy, that UPS driver is going to leave and he's going to feel good. And he's having a bad day. But if he comes here and he is in contact with one of our employees, we can change that and we can help turn it around. That's what's really important, right?
Amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's incredible to see this in action. You know, we hear this in theory so many times. We hear it in the books, read it in the books, and hear it in lectures about leadership. And you're really truly embodying this, which I love to see. That's amazing. Jim, what would be your advice to up and coming new leaders, young leaders getting into the field of manufacturing? What do you recommend that, number one? And number two, what is your advice to them?
I would say definitely lead with core values. You have to have empathy for your employees. And then once you've got that master, I would recommend reading the book Traction by Gino Wickman. It's got great values and principles to running a systematized business. You don't have to do everything it says, but there's some really good things that you can take away. And once you have that really good foundation, like the foundation of a house, once you have a really strong foundation of core values, how you're going to run the business, and you have to have, I would always tell people now, you should have a good amount of money, because it's always going to cost more money than you think it is to start up a new business. Um, Invest in technology, innovation, invest in your people, train them. Um, those are, I would say, the very first three things that they need to do.
Wonderful. Do you think manufacturing is a good industry to get into for young leaders?
I absolutely do. I'm a big advocate for it. It used to be, the perception years ago was dark, dingy, and low paying. It's completely the opposite of that nowadays. It's highly technical, skilled. The environment that my employees work in is amazing. Um, Again, it was all deliberate on my part to create a healthy and safe environment. I'm sorry, I forgot what were the other things you were asking?
Well, would you recommend that they get into the manufacturing industry, period, the young
Oh,
leaders?
why? It's a high paying job. I think it will sustain. I know it can sustain a family for an entire career. Um, and you don't necessarily have to go to college and be a degreed person to come into the industry. I can take a kid or a young person right out of high school and start training them. So I'll pay for their training and they're working at the same time. So they're working and training concurrently, and I'm paying the bill. I'm paying for that education. So
Mm,
they don't come out of college after 4 years with a huge debt
mhm.
to come into the business.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
It
amazing. I
is.
love that. I love that. What is there a particular sector in manufacturing that you lean into more than another? I know you're in machine and tools, but is there any, tell us a little bit about that because I think that there's a lot of information out there
Yes.
for technology companies, AI and sorts, but manufacturing is not something that's highlighted a lot for young leaders coming out of college. I know this because I
Right.
just sent two kids to college, so
I sent three. So yes, I get it.
yeah.
But not all parents have the resources to do that, Kathy. And that's why we're giving them an option that
Mhm.
if your path is college, by all means, do it and get it done. But you know what? College isn't for every kid out there. Um, and if they have good math skills and good computer skills and can critically think,
Mhm.
this could be a great career choice for them, especially if they don't have the resources for a college education.
Yeah. Yeah. What sector of manufacturing would you say is good for them to get in?
Good question. So I can only really talk about what we do, and we make really cool stuff here, stuff that goes into outer space, stuff that's satellites. We have parts on the International Space Station. We have parts that go on rockets. We do work for like Tesla, SpaceX, Blue Origin. They're all customers of ours. So we make parts for that particular sector. Right now, we're doing a lot of work for the Department of Defense. We're making parts that help replenish the United States arsenal.
Hmm.
So not guns, but it could be all those. It could be a lot of different things with regards to, and of course, unfortunately, there's war out there right now, and the United States is assisting other countries with um, things to fight with. So we're blessed that we have the work, but it's not. Somebody's got to do it, and somebody's got to make the parts, right?
Absolutely. And of course, you do so many amazing things with technology companies like Tesla and SpaceX. It's such a, being in the forefront of all of the cool things that we get to do. I know the other side
So
isn't so, but you're right. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it
somebody's got to
well.
do it.
Yeah, because a lot of things are hinging upon it. So wonderful to hear. Let's pivot a little bit. We talked about. I'm thrilled to hear about your stance on culture and how important your employees are. What about emotional intelligence? Is that something that you focus on? You hit on empathy, which I love to hear leaders talk about empathy. Tell us about how emotional intelligence plays in your culture and how you deal with employees, etc. Do you see that?
Um, I don't really call it emotional intelligence. I just like to call it being fair. I think that's a real ambiguous way to say it, but it covers a lot, right? So I believe if I'm running my business to the best of my abilities and to lead with empathy, because I know, there's almost 20 people outside right now, and everyone has problems, right? Everyone has things in their head, in their personal life, in their business life. And it's not easy, right? Life isn't easy. We all have problems. Um, and I believe that being a leader and knowing that not everyone's going to be having a good day every day out there, and having empathy for that, um, is the way to lead. So call that emotional intelligence. I don't. What do you define emotional intelligence as?
Emotional intelligence, as you know, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I like to talk about this with leaders because when young and up and coming leaders and other leaders listening to this, I it's really important to point out our humanity, our the fact that we as humans experience greatness in life, things that we're really happy and thrilled about. And then we also have moments of anxiety, stress, overwhelm, not being happy with what we did. And really navigating this is living the human, having the human experience. But in
Right.
our culture, in corporate culture, this high performance mentality, positive thinking mentality, for some leaders, it's great to have and maintain, and they have the capacity and ability to do so because they they're in a whole different level of consciousness, we call it. But for others who are trying to improve and get better, they navigate this unsure of really what they're feeling, how these emotions are impacting them, and how to healthily process that. So we define emotional intelligence is being in the face of anxiety and stress, yet handling it with dignity, giving yourself grace, having self-empathy. But to have that, they need to learn how to do it. You know,
That's a tough one.
yeah, it is.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's something to master for sure. But
Yeah.
yes, you can't make rash decisions based on anxiety.
No, no, you can't, because when you're anxious, all of your executive functions are out the door. And
Exactly.
and that can cause problems. They can people can make mistakes. So it's an important part of leadership. So it's I'm glad that you handle that with empathy and having lots of empathy for your people and really being present for them. So that's incredible. I love it. You're such an amazing leader. And I
I'm
really
just, I'm just doing the best I can do. I
yeah.
really do. And I'm just trying to pivot. Again, I really wanted to, I saw the way, I know what I grew up in, and I knew it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. And I really wanted to shift the focus
Mhm.
onto more people. It
Yeah.
was tough. I have to tell you, it was tough after, decades of growing up in an environment that did not have good core values to actually move beyond. But it takes time. It takes years, quite frankly.
Of course, and to have it live in your culture is another thing, which seems like you really have mastered. And I love that you incorporated playfulness. I love playing. I think life is all about loving and playing and working hard too, and of course excellence. But you want to also have that playfulness component because that makes coming to work fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Like today at 2:30, we have an all company meeting, and I'm going to be leading that meeting. We all come into the office. We have a lounge area towards the back of the office, and everyone gets to sit down, and I have a whole presentation, and I'm just going to go over everything. I'm going to talk about the holidays, what our schedule is like, our Christmas party, um, the new insurance, there's open enrollment, just everything that's happening in the shop. And I'm going to tell them, you might think, what does Jim do? He sits in that corner office all day long, and we only see him a little bit every day. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, and I've got it laid out. I want to share with. I'm not. It's not going to be a deep dive, but I know what they're doing. But I think it's important that they need to know what I'm doing, because they think it's easy. May think they don't know what it's like to lead a company. So when you share information professionally and personally with your employees, it pulls you in tighter, right?
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. That
Yeah.
communication is just so key, which is perfect timing because I was going to ask you about your vision of the future. So tell us, give us a sneak preview before you share it with your team.
The vision of our future are, well, quite frankly, Kathy, our our light is shining quite brightly right now. We're very blessed to have a significant amount of work, which is going to create all new issues that we've never had before, but we're willing to work hard to solve them and implement strategies to production strategies. But again, I need feedback from everybody on how we are going to mitigate any of these potential production issues that I foresee.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm going to be talking about that. Friday we're having a car fall festival. Actually, I just checked the weather. It's supposed to be almost 70 on Friday. So we have a green space out and back under the tree. We got a picnic table. We're gonna put the grill out there. We're gonna grill some burgers at 3 o'clock and have a couple beers and just it's important to have personal time. And I can ask everybody, how's your wife? How's your kids? How's your grandma doing? You know how
Oh,
important it is to ask somebody how their grandma's doing? And I'm not doing it because I'm I know it's important. I'm doing it because I really want to know how's grandma doing, you know?
yes, you care. You
I
care.
care. I do. I really, really, really care.
I love that. I love that. Care and compassion is really the cornerstone and
What
the
a novelty.
of leadership. Yeah, it's and very few leaders practice it because they're so focused on optimizing success that they lose sight of the human being human. Care and compassion is really important. And organizations that actually implement it and practice it, live and breathe it, are most successful because people want to work for leaders who care for them. That's
Yes.
so important. I love that. I love that. You kind of hit on something that I want to just kind of our last few questions. What are some of the challenges that you currently dealing with?
Right now in business,
Mm-hmm.
growing pains, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and growing pains can be production, it could be infrastructure, it could be team members, it could be financial. Quite frankly, it's all those. Um, it's just how do you rank them, and they're dynamic. Sometimes this one goes to the top of the list, and then it falls down to the bottom. But those are pretty much production, infrastructure, machinery and equipment, team members, financial.
Okay. Yeah, quite a bit, and it does take excellent leadership to tackle those. And I think that the what I would like people to take away from this is that success is always accompanied by challenges, and excellent leadership always is cognizant of both and really dances between the two really well, and really recognizes their opportunities and challenges and has solution for the challenges and strategy for growth, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I want to ask one last question that I ask most of the leaders that we bring on. And I want you to, in your own words, describe your authentic self. Who is Jim Carr?
Hmm. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that over the last 10 years that I have been way more authentic than I ever have in my life. And I genuinely believe that that has helped in some capacity in my business success.
Mm-hmm.
Like building this new facility, you had friends that used to say, if you can bring your personal brand into your business brand, you're going to have even more success. I
Mm-hmm.
believe I've done that. So, what is the authentic Jim Carr? He's a person that real likes people,
Mm-hmm.
um, is not as guarded as he once was, has empathy for others, who likes to work hard, who is a critical thinker
Mhm.
and loves marketing, music, and good wine.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I share with you. I love music and I love wine too. So cheers. Cheers. Who doesn't, right?
Cheers. We should go get some.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Thank you so much for being with us and enlightening our listeners. It's really a true pleasure and honor to know you, and I love seeing how you've evolved to this amazing leader and this wonderful company. Actually, I want to come and visit your facility.
You should. It's
Yeah,
it's it's well worth the look see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much.